Here are 3 programmatic mass AI websites that are totally dominating the latest Google update. Now, I've had a lot of comments and people reaching out basically asking, I've got this plan to do this mass location page website, whether it's services or an app or something like that, and we want to compete in all these regions and localities. Can we still do that post the Google update? And generally speaking, I would say yes, for the reasons I'm going to show you in this video. As shared on my channel and elsewhere in the SEO community, the latest March Google update has severely impacted these mass AI websites, which are literally publishing hundreds, even thousands of articles every week. One of them I shared on my channel, Equity Atlas, literally the night before the update struck, where I discovered this pure ChatGPT website full of all the usual footprints in the vast digital landscape, in the world today, etc. Dive into. I have collected a list of these AI footprints recently featured in SEO Notebook. Thank you, Steve Toth. And you can download that sheet yourself if you go to seojesus.com and sign up for my Ranking Revelations newsletter, and it is in the welcome email. But then the update hit, and a number of these websites were severely penalized, completely de-indexed from Google. If we now do a site search for Equity Atlas, it no longer exists in the Google index. And we can see that dive in Ahrefs from a peak of 1.6 million visitors to then be completely gone. So many people are saying this is the end of AI SEO, certainly the end of these mass page websites, where you can see this site was publishing thousands of articles every week. So 20th of December, 31,000 pages. Then 1st of January, 34,000 pages. But the conclusion is pretty clear that Google is still struggling to algorithmically detect these kinds of sites. The vast majority of what we've seen has been very much manual actions. So Google specifically targeting these websites rather than an update to the algorithm in order to apply all these penalties at once. Actually having AI content on a page doesn't seem to be the problem. I'm still number 3 for cannabis SEO with a LinkedIn article I wrote with ChatGPT, getting 450 visitors per month. And I could give you plenty of case studies, both from my portfolio and my clients, where smart AI content is still ranking. So don't use pure ChatGPT. We're always working with Surfer to extract relevant entities and really craft a page of optimized SEO content, but it is still with AI and it still works. More to the point, at the time when I discovered Equity Atlas, I also decided to try and replicate. I've been wanting to try out a celebrity net worth site for a long time just because of the sheer volume attached. And when I saw that plain ChatGPT websites were ranking, had to get on that. So of course there's a dark irony that these websites started disappearing the very next day. But like I say, these are manual actions, not algorithmic actions. And we can see that now if I open up Ahrefs. This site is only a week old. I haven't done any link building, haven't done any indexing, and it is already ranking for 18 keywords and supposedly getting 106 visitors per month. Now, these keywords are nothing to write home about. They've got massive volume, but not a whole lot of value. In fact, there's no CPC value attached. I've been saying for a long time that I much prefer smaller websites, highly optimized, lots of backlinks in order to rank for the most commercial, profitable terms, rather than just mass volume for low competition, low value. And that's one reason myself and my clients haven't been hit so hard. Now, I've published hundreds of articles. I'm ranking for 18 keywords within a week. So what? It's not that exciting. Well, this just tells us that there hasn't really been a change to the underlying algorithm in terms of mass AI content. I'm using autoblogging.ai, so it is smarter than just plain ChatGPT. The articles are much more nuanced, more optimized, more structured. But I'm pretty confident that as long as you don't abuse it by publishing thousands of articles every week, you absolutely can still do these kinds of websites. But to get back to my original point, here are some basically pure programmatic sites that are working really well right now. And the first one is actually just SEMrush. Over the last year or so, they've published loads of programmatic pages, actually listing individual websites. So you can see there's 1.6 million searches a month in Malaysia for score 808. And therefore, SEMrush ranks at number 8 for that, therefore gets a lot of traffic. And if we open the page, basically they're just taking all the data they already have in their index and just presenting it in an indexable page on the front end. So this one is alternatives and competitors. And you can see they're drawing all this data from the database. I've got no idea whether they're getting bounce rate and pages per visit from things like that. I'm very suspicious of that data. But if we take out competitors here and just go to the brand page, it's published. And they're now doing this for probably thousands of websites. And it's all this data and insights, all of which are actually unique and they are value adding. And that was the key thing that Google said in the update, that it's not about AI or not AI. It's about what value are you giving. So the fact is, these are hard statistics that you can't get anywhere else. So you can see they've done this at mass volume. So even this one, Pakistan 1337x.to. Right at the top, we have HD Hub for You with 10.4 million visitors in India. They're at position 5. So that's got them more than 1 million traffic per month. Now, does that actually convert for anything for SEMrush? I highly doubt it. But when you're doing that scale and that volume, why not? Plus, it's an interesting case study. So there's probably a bit of a PR exercise as well, getting more visibility, more backlinks, and overall enhancing their authority. So this is the kind of page that's absolutely still working. Traditionally, programmatic SEO is literally about basically uploading a spreadsheet of data and presenting all that data. And this is all live, I think, as well. So it's going to be kept fresh and updated. So when you're doing these mass AI websites, really think about how can you put something that's dynamic and unique into that overall architecture, into that structure, so that every page does actually contribute something. And that brings me on to another example. I saw this, I believe it was by Ferry Kazoni, probably the leader in digital PR. And he's created an income tax website in the UK. But if we look at the top pages, he's literally targeting all these tiny queries, the type of thing we go after with an AI site that's what's 35k tax UK, 30k after tax UK, 40k after tax UK. Obviously, tax rules are quite complicated. You've got the personal allowance to begin with and then a percentage over the top. So it's a common thing for people to just Google. Now, I'd be tempted to just scrape this whole keyword list and slam it through autoblogging.ai. We can see there are 700 pages here, so we can create 700 pages in an afternoon. That's not a problem. But how have they been smart about it? We're not seeing a massive increase here. Remember that with SEMrush, they basically doubled their traffic in the last few weeks. So from 11 million on the 1st of March to 20 million on the 15th of March during the Google update. In this case, the tax website has just remained pretty much flat, but that's fine. As we know, this is just a mass page programmatic website, the kind of which we'd expect to have been targeted in the recent update, but it's absolutely fine. Why is that? Well, if we open one of these, you can see why. So first of all, we've got a nice sort of feature snippet page, basically the answer to the question. But then we come down and we've got this actual calculator that's been pre-populated with the data, and it provides a breakdown, the national insurance, the tax, and then the further we go, basically the more information we get, it really dives deep into the specifics of this question. So we've got yearly gross and then monthly net, even a payslip simulator. I'm not too sure what the point of that is, but it's all unique content that's actually dynamically generated, but it's all tailored to this 50,000 figure. And then internal links to all the other pages that fall within that same tax bracket, even giving you the hourly rate here. So overall, really impressive website. Now, finally, we have whocalled.co.uk. So many of us, myself included, not a fan of unknown numbers. First thing we do is just Google the number rather than just picking it up. Now, most of my friends over 40 despair at this, but yeah, really not a fan of phone calls. I try to be highly efficient with my day, so I hate it when people just try and get half an hour of my time, whether a salesperson or something like that. Please just email me and I'll get back to you when I can. But meanwhile, if we go onto the top pages here, we can see this performing really well throughout the update. So pre-update, 2 million visitors, and now 2.4 million visitors post-update. So not a big benefit, but again, absolutely not penalized. I can come down, it's just all these phone numbers. So I won't read the full thing, but that's 20,000 searches a month for that one, 7.4 thousand searches a month for this one. Now, quite often these sites work as aggregators, almost like user-generated content, where they'll get people to basically report on what this number actually was. So your feedback matters, leave a comment, and they try and pull out regular keywords from users' responses. So you can quite quickly work out, in this case, it's Deliveroo, but scam's obviously a big one, delivery, TPS compliance, that's quite a nice extra sort of feature. Again, like the tax website, just going further than just, instead of just talking about the number with AI content, they've actually got some data feeds going in, basically. So we've got a cool location, we've got a map, and then we have the user reviews. So this is really interesting. This is where you very quickly get your answer. Then we have similar numbers down the bottom, and mostly it's just monetized with banner ads. And as you can imagine, thousands of variations of different phone numbers you can use. So we've actually got 81,000 pages here, generating a total traffic of 2.2 million. My friend Craig Campbell, industry titan, actually built a website similar to this a number of years ago, where he was ranking for all these customer service numbers. And it was a little bit dubious, but basically he'd try and rank for, say, the EDF customer service number or Virgin Media customer service. And he'd have a call button at the top, but that call button would be linked to his premium phone number that would then forward to the actual customer service number. So, a little dark. You've got all these old ladies just trying to talk to their utility providers and being charged a premium rate for it. And undoubtedly, legislation then kept up in order to match this problem, not only from Craig, but loads of people in the industry doing the same thing. And therefore, there were all sorts of regulations enforced that you have to actually declare that this is a premium rate phone number and just forwards to the correct one. So the conversion all dropped off and he got burned. But a very smart way of approaching this kind of programmatic campaign. I'm always really interested by these kinds of searches that are extremely high volume, often little numbers, error codes, conversions, things like that. So my key part of advice with this is generally, how can you get beyond the feature snippet? Obviously, a lot of these, especially with the tax one, you'll probably find a lot of these will be answered by a feature snippet. So if I take 50,000 after tax, again, in this case, it doesn't look like we do. But as you can imagine, a lot of informational queries, you just get the feature snippet answer at the top. So no one's going to click through to the website, and some sort of future generative search is going to be the same thing. It'll be answered by the snippet. So not a great long-term strategy. But some of these, in this case, tax especially, we can see the answers are far more nuanced. It's not a simple yes or no. And therefore, Google has decided there's no feature snippet. It needs a detailed breakdown. And therefore, the webmaster does get the traffic. One more little bonus for you here, famous birthdays. And the chart at the top doesn't seem to be loading. But take it from me, this is doing extremely well despite the update. There we go. So no negative impact there. 9 million visitors per month. And it's just going through providing the birthdays of different celebrities. There's therefore also ranking for actually just the plain celebrity name. So Brecky Hill, position 5, 515,000 searches per month. And nothing complicated about these pages at all. So we have name, profession, birthday, star sign, birthplace, age. So again, basically just a calculator, a little bit of a synopsis. And again, all this dynamic data here. So if you are able to include things like rankings and dynamic data from your own website, which says how popular this page is, things like that, that seems to be a good way to keep that page fresh and unique rather than just plain AI content. Then we have also viewed, more Aries, more 18th of April. Here's another niche I've had my eye on. Obviously, I always like to talk about high ticket stuff with SEO because SEO takes the same resources to sell an expensive product as a cheap product. So why are all these affiliate out there just selling lawnmowers on Amazon when you might as well be going for the most expensive things you can? So I'm increasingly looking at real estate, luxury goods, and in this case, super yachts and private jets. So if we look at boatinternational.com, again, ironically sailed through the latest update. And if we come down, we've got all these different yacht names or famous people's yachts. And that's because they've got 26,000 pages. Not super high volume, but I imagine pretty high ticket. And so the way they've done this, they basically just have a database of all these different yachts around the world. So this is the kind of niche that would really interest me, where you could potentially then send leads through to a booking or charter service. And of course, chartering a super yacht is many thousands of pounds. So again, very simple page. Got all the data here. We have some content and the specifications. So this is where I'm increasingly looking with mass AI stuff. What are basically data sets I can buy or databases where I can basically take the spreadsheet and then use that to inform some AI content that basically just summarizes the data we've been given, supplemented by obviously its training data where it can then go out and say, this yacht is famous for this and that reason. And then we rank not just for informational queries, but also actual lead gen queries with this high volume. So as with everything else, there's no absolutes in SEO. It's all very nuanced. Yes, lazy mass AI sites are getting hit, but they were publishing thousands of articles per week. So obviously go carefully. I've only been publishing a couple of hundred articles per week in this case. So basically each day I'll log in where I've got all my scheduled posts from autoblogging.ai, and I'll just publish maybe 50 of them and then come back the next day and do the same thing. So not going too hard, still very aggressive, but I think 30 to 50 posts a day, that's still well within the realms of a proper editorial newsroom that a proper blog might actually have. I'm not using plain ChatGPT, I'm using Autoblog or a similar tool, but any unique insights, unique data is always valuable. So how can you do that extra 10, 20% that just goes beyond the basic and gives you real quality that Google is not going to penalize?